Nerd reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactor? Right, it's John here, and it's time to talk about No Time to Die. This is it. This is the last outing, the finale for Daniel Craig as James Bond. And Daniel Craig, he's been James Bond since 2006 with Casino Royale, and that movie was just an instant hit with fans and critics alike. It had, action, cool, crazy actions, parkour, really impressive stuff, and a very intriguing villain, and just the pacing, everything. It's just such a solid film. And this movie also cemented Daniel Craig as a household name. And so now fast forward to today, we have No Time to Die coming out, and this will be the fifth and final film for Daniel Craig as James Bond. And, he's been at this for like 15 years. And even though Casino Royale is still my favorite Daniel Craig Bond film, No Time to Die is definitely up there. I would probably put this on the my second favorite of the Craig Bond film, just because it's dramatic and it really out of I think all of them, it just really touches on the characters and Bond just becoming really vulnerable. And I think it's a fitting finale for Daniel Craig as James Bond. And I know some people's going to be like, no, I don't want a Bond that's going to be this vulnerable. But no, I actually like it in this movie. So yeah, Cary Joji Fukunaga, he's tasked with directing this film. And this is a lot of pressure, especially since this is the farewell Bond film for Craig. And there's this emotional side of Bond that involves friendship and love. And it's nice to see a more caring side of the 00 agent. And although this is probably one of the most emotional Bond films, it still could have been more impactful if they really just made you care about certain things. And it never really gave me that emotional gut punch. Just give it to me. This is the final film. Just lay it all on me. I want to feel really, really emotional and really just devastated or whatever it is that they want to do. But it was this is the feeling at the end. It was wow, this is it. And I wish there was more of that emotional impact, but it still is one of the most emotional Bond films to date. So yeah, this film follows Bond. He's in retirement in Jamaica. And, since this is a Bond film, he's not going to be having a peaceful life for long. And you have Felix Leiter, who's played by Jeffrey Wright. He's back, and he is the guy working at the CIA, and he's calling out to Bond hey, man, I need your help in this to track down this scientist who has the power to just really take down organizations, big organizations. And Léa Seydoux, she's in the middle of it all. She's back. She was the love interest in Spectre. And so this one, she's back as Madeline Swan. And her past is coming back to haunt her. And if you've seen Spectre, there was a moment where she talks a bit about why she doesn't like weapons, holding guns. And we get to see that moment play out in this film. So yeah, Swan, she has a prominent role. And her role is greatly affecting Bond's psyche. And that's where the emotional and dramatic aspect of the film comes from with this. And just having a Bond that's just more caring. One of the cool things about Bond films are the villains. You have Blofeld and Le Chiffre, and you have Silva. They all have their different personalities, their quirks. And whether they're your favorite or not, they have their reasons and their different looks. Each character has some kind of physical scars. Silva, he tried to kill himself with cyanide, but he failed at that and it messed up his jaw. And you have Le Chiffre, who can cry blood, and you have Blofeld. He's got the scars on the right, and the Blofeld character in the Bond franchise has inspired characters like Dr. Evil in Austin Powers. So with this film, we have Rami Malek as Lucifer Safin. He's a terrorist leader, and he has a vendetta against Spectre. And he's got physical scars on his face, so that's why he's wearing a mask. And as a villain, I just feel like he's not as terrifying or as intimidating as he could be. And like his grand entrance wasn't really that grand to begin with, because it just made him feel like he was a punk. Like, wow, you're gonna like show this character coming in, and then his introduction to the audience members is just, wow, this is kind of pathetic. He's like the leader of this terrorist organization, and he has this technology, this power that if you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid, you would be like, hey man, this reminds me of Fox Die. And if you played the game, if you played Metal Gear Solid, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I know what this thing does. But in this film, it's kind of cool to see this play out on screen and to see how they use this technology. And, after seeing this, I'm like, God damn, they really need to make that Metal Gear Solid movie, or, they're already working on it. It's a work in progress, but they need to release it now so we can actually see it. And I want to see if they're going to use Fox Die as part of the main plot points, one of the main plot points for that film. But yeah, going back to No Time to Die, the cast, the supporting cast, the standout is Ana de Armas, and she plays Paloma, a CIA agent who helps out Bond on a mission, and she is so charming. She's very gorgeous in this. She's a lot of fun to watch on the screen. It's just too bad that her role is really short, because she's in the posters, she's in the trailers. I'm watching it, it's like, oh man, I love this character. And that's it. It was like just like one part of a chapter, so I wish there was more to her character. And so that was a disappointment. And then you also have Lashana Lynch as the new 007. And, there are people that are like, no, we can't have someone else play 007. It's got to be James Bond. It's got to be Daniel Craig playing that. But, he's still James Bond. And because he's in retirement, MI6 needs somebody else to take over. So you just can't have a 007 without someone filling in that spot. And so Lashana Lynch, she does that. And, she does a solid job. But as for the script, she really doesn't get to do much. Like, she's more of a supporting character, and that's pretty much it. Like, she's there to help out, and she's kind of like this person that gets on Bond's bad side just because, she's taken over. But there's a joke in there in the movie that talks about how she's taken over the 007 title, and Bond has a perfect response for that. And, if you watch it, you'll get a kick out of it. And then also we have the return of Christoph Waltz as Blofeld. And, Blofeld is an iconic Bond villain. And this villain has inspired so many villains, especially with shows or movies, like shows like Inspector Gadget. And he also have parodies like Austin Powers with Dr. Evil. So this is an iconic character, like, with the evil man, with the cat and the chair. So with this Blofeld in No Time to Die, it was cool to see him back. Just his character, it was just kind of like a waste. Like, that was it. And I would have preferred something more than what we've seen, or what we have seen in this film. And yeah, a big part of me was like really disappointed, like, this is it. And it wasn't even like a cool highlight, like Ana de Armas, where she shows up, you're like, oh my God, like, she is so great in this film. But then when you watch, Christoph Waltz as Blofeld in this, when he's reprising his role, it's like, okay, let's see what they do with this character, but they don't do much. And he wasn't even like really, really that interesting. Like, parts of it is interesting to see where this plays out, but yeah, they don't really do much with it. And so yeah, with this movie, it's a conclusion to Daniel Craig as James Bond. It's a grand farewell to the secret agent. And this kind of reminds me of The Dark Knight Rises, where, you know, Christopher Nolan, he does this send off to Bruce Wayne, where it is a definitive ending for this character, for this protagonist, for this arc. And so with this, we have an actual arc with Daniel Craig as Bond. So with Casino Royale, where he's starting off, and then here we get a definitive ending. And of course, with this ending, fans are gonna be wondering what's gonna happen next. And so yeah, we're definitely gonna be we're probably gonna get a new James Bond after this. And the question is, who's gonna play him? Could it be Henry Cavill? I'm curious, and I'm pretty sure lots of people are gonna be curious too, because this is a popular franchise. It's going to continue on because people keep wanting to see James Bond. And, you know, it's the ultimate adult male fantasy of, you know, just suave secret agent, and just really popular amongst the men and women in their lives, and just really kick ass. And let's talk about the action for this. There are really cool scenes that involves technology, especially with the cars, and parts of it, kind of reminds me of scenes from Captain America, Winter Soldier, especially with, bulletproof cars. And it's just seeing how it's utilized in certain movies, and the way they did it in this movie, it was like different, because it's more trying to play out the tension between two characters that really care about each other. And it's just this outside force that's just trying to get in and trying to ruin this moment. And it was just cool how they play out that stuff. And, you also have like the different technologies that's involved, especially with the villains, with Rami Malek's character, and pretty much what his ultimate goal is. But yeah, it's a solid action movie. It doesn't really raise the bar that much compared to other action movies we've seen, especially movies like John Wick and etc. As a Daniel Craig Bond film, it definitely ranks up there with the action scenes, and also up there as just, one of my favorite James Bond, Daniel Craig films, after Casino Royale. But yeah, No Time to Die. It's a fitting farewell to Daniel Craig as James Bond, and the drama is one of the best I've seen in the franchise. Ana de Armas certainly is a standout as a new addition, and the film would have been a lot better if she had more screen time. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on No Time to Die. Let me know what your thoughts are on this film on the comments below. Do you agree with me? Are you like, meh, this is okay, or this is whatever, this is not what James Bond should be? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.